Welcome to 99% Pickleball, a podcast by Empower Pickleball. We're your hosts, Nikki Maldonado
and Mari Humberg. And this is week 11. I certainly did not know that. I'm going to pretend that I knew, but I was told because the weeks are just kind of piling up for me, Nikki.
You thought it was 7, Mari.
I thought it was 7. Don't turn on me like this. What are you doing? We're supposed to be partners. Yeah, man. No, definitely week 11. Wow.
This is what I always say about the pros. You know, you're lucky you have someone to count for you, right? You guys have someone to keep score for you because the rest of us out here have to count on our own.
You are so right. I don't know if I could keep score without the refs. So shout out to the refs. But
shout
Nikki,
out to the refs.
What have you been up to? Tell me about your past week.
Mari, it's been maybe one of the most exciting weeks of my year. I didn't travel anywhere. It was amazing. I got to just play pickleball with my friends. I had to work. Sure. That was fun. I got to walk gravy on my own. I got to just play with my dog. So it was an amazing, just super chill week. I'm not familiar with this. So yeah, I am looking forward to, and I have one more week and then I'm going to travel a little bit again. But it was just nice to be home. And speaking of home, you're home right now. So are you kind of feeling like I was feeling?
Yeah, I actually had a few days at home prior to traveling to MLP, which I'll talk about here in a second, but it's certainly so nice to be home. You know, we take it for granted, and so many people always tell me, wow, I wish I had your life. And don't get me wrong, this is not a complaint. I want to be very clear here, not a complaint. I love my life. But being home is so nice. Sleeping in your own bed, having all my stuff here, getting to bury my clothes, getting to do laundry, it's nice.
Yeah, you're home now, but your week was eventful, far more eventful than mine.
I actually got home very late last night, Monday morning here. So yeah, I did a lot. So basically I was home for most of the week, and then myself and my team, the Atlanta Bouncers, we traveled to Dallas for the first round of playoffs. The way that this works, and this is our beginning of our Beyond the Lines here, okay? I know that this is about my life, Nikki, but this is the pro pickleball world. So we'll start there. The way that this works is we play a 2 out of 3 against the team in the playoffs that we were selected by. And it was a tricky situation because the 5 through 8 seeds got to select seeds from the 9 through 12. Okay. So the teams that finished in the regular season 1 through 4, they went straight to the next round of the playoffs. They did not play this past week. The teams that finished 5 through 8 got to select, and the teams that finished 9 through 12 were selected.
Mm-hmm.
We finished 9th.
Oof.
And we were actually not selected because we were the last out of the 4. So we were paired up with the 8th team, which was the Texas Rangers. Now, my team, the Atlanta Bouncers, had previously beat them in the regular season. I did not actually play them
at all,
I believe, in the regular season. No, because I got traded.
Not with Chicago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I did. I might have, but don't remember. Just so many matches happened that we end up kind of forgetting, but we had 2 nail biters against them. Unfortunately lost, but we lost 2 dream breakers. So on Friday, we were up 2-0, won both gender matches, lost both mixed and lost a dream breaker. And on Sunday, we won women's, lost men's, won 1 mixed, lost 1 mixed, and unfortunately lost in the dream breaker again. So bittersweet ending to I'd say a pretty good MLP season. Now, obviously, the objective would have been to go to the next playoffs, which are this week, starting on Friday. So tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Thursday, and it'll be in Newport Beach, and that'll be the quarterfinals. And I believe the next one would be in New York.
Yep. That's the 29th. Yeah.
29th, correct.
So right around there. Yeah, end of the month.
Yeah, so it's 1 week each, and then that'll go immediately back into PPA season right after the MLP finals. So,
man,
basically, pretty busy schedule, and there are, good things about it too. Obviously, with the season being done, this gives me a few weeks to kind of breathe and get back and ready to go for PPA season. I'm actually
maybe some training
in a tournament this week. Yeah, exactly, some training, but I am going to compete this week. I'm going to Seattle for a PPA Challenger. But yeah, I will be back home after that and actually staying at home for a couple of weeks. Mom is going to come as well. And she'll be back, and I'll get to train and get ready for my first PPA of the season, which will be in Cary with Millie Rain and Augie Guh in singles.
Yes. And wait, you're going to play singles?
play singles. I just don't make it far in the draw, Nikki. That's why you never see my name.
Yeah. I'm like, wait, where is this? So I want to talk about this a little bit because you were in 2 Dream Breakers this weekend. First of all, how do you feel about Dream Breakers? Do you like them? Would you prefer not to play them? You prefer to just, I mean, of course, everybody wants to just wrap it up, but how do you feel about Dream Breakers?
Honestly, think that being a part of it and getting to watch it, Dream Breakers are electric. So I think for the product, it's amazing. It's a little terrifying to play them, especially knowing that I'm not a top singles player. I had to face Leia in my matchup twice this week, and she's a very good singles player. So I went 2-6 the first time around, not good enough. 3-5 the second time around, a little better, but it's just tough. She's a top 10 singles player. I'm a top 50 singles player. I'm way down on that list, but yeah, I think it is good. I would love to see a little bit more variation, to see more girls versus guys, because I think that would make it even more fun. But that's kind of where I'm at. I do think it's a good solution to finish out the match when it's tied at 2-2.
You just brought up something that I would love to see. The fact that you can even have men versus women in the Dream Breaker. I love this concept. I think that is so much fun. It just kind of like heightens things. We've seen this before. Already seen it this season. And I remember like seeing this and then seeing in the comments, I saw videos of men and women playing against each other in singles and people in the comments being like, is this legit? Like, is this actually happening? It's like, oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is happening. So yeah, no, I think it's super cool. But kind of getting back to my question, I can't imagine how much pressure that is to just have your 4 points, boom, 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 rally scoring.
Absolutely.
Like that's a lot. So
Nikki,
I don't know.
Those are the moments we kind of live for as athletes, right? As a professional athlete, though we lost, I mean, looking back on the season, we had a ton of good wins, a couple of questionable losses, and we gave it our all this past week. It just didn't go our way. I think the Texas Rangers are a very good team, so props to them. And shout out to the Bouncers organization and then my teammates just for fun season. I started on the slice. I got traded halfway through the season. I was welcomed with open arms to a new team. And it's cool to be around people that really care about the sport and the growth of it. And a shout out to Leanne here, just someone that she is so invested in making this sport grow. And she's so passionate about the league and about the team and about making sure that we have everything that we need. So that's our GM. If people listening don't know who that is, but it's cool to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, right? That's what I always said about college tennis. And that's still the way that I feel about MLP. And the fans, it's just electric. You can hear it. There's something special about MLP. I mean, I think the slogan is there's nothing else like it, which I agree with.
I totally agree with that as well. The team element just really heightens the excitement of the sport. I mean, pickleball in and of it. I mean, yes, PPA, if you're a true pickleball purist, is super fun to watch. I still love watching that. But really, for anyone, they can watch an MLP and just like get so hyped off of this, just the energy. Seeing people jumping up and down on the sidelines, the teammates cheering each other on. I think the chirpiness definitely gets to another level. I don't know if you saw this weekend. Zane just screamed after body bag.
I certainly saw that.
Casey died.
Wow, I haven't seen that from Zane in a while, but
yeah, exactly. And so they were like, I guess men can do this and it's okay. Women do that, like Kate and
all the time.
Leia, not so much. But no, I thought it was great. I think this was a wonderful first weekend. It's a bummer that you guys didn't make it through, but you definitely fought hard. 2 Dream Breakers. I mean, come on. That means that you were taking this literally to the last point, essentially. And I thought it was a really, really it was a truly electric weekend to start MLP. So the rest of the playoffs are going to be super, super fun for sure.
Yeah, very much.
But you're just going to be getting ready. Yeah, you're just going to be getting ready for the next thing. Yeah.
Nikki, one more thing that happened this past weekend was National Pickleball Day. Now, I have a bone to pick. I hear this every month or something. Like there's something new every time. Like, how are we celebrating? Though every day is National Pickleball Day for me, okay? I am obsessed with the sport. If this wasn't clear enough to everyone listening, I am obsessed with pickleball, so is Nikki. But when is National Pickleball Day? Who gets to determine this? How do national holidays like that work?
Oh my God. So, okay. Backstory. I texted Mari happy National Pickleball Day, talked to her about how she was celebrating and she was like, wait, what? Is it today? Is it not today?
True story.
Yeah. And she was like, I just saw it on my feed a couple of weeks ago. Like, what's going on? And I was like, wait, hold on. So I started doing some research and I'm like, oh no, we're all saying happy National Pickleball Day on Saturday, August the 8th. And apparently we're all wrong. And so it turns out, apparently we're kind of right. because there are 3 different elements to this. Okay, so on Saturday, this past Saturday, August 8th, that was indeed what we call National Pickleball Day here in the United States. And that was made by someone named Deirdre Morris, who knows when, so many years ago. And then there's also a National Pickleball Month, which was established by USA Pickleball. This is April, okay? And then there's a World Pickleball Day established by the World Pickleball Federation, and that is October 10th. So here's a couple of things that I'm thinking, right? Number one, lots of days to celebrate. I'm all for it. Sure, why not? Give me
Celebrate
the
every
more.
day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, celebrate every day. But also give me a reason to be able to play excuse-free longer on the big ones, the celebratory days. So I did indeed play on National Pickleball Day. The other thing I was thinking is like, if that's true, right? If that's giving me a reason to play with, guilt-free, there's a whole pickleball month. So April should be wild. We should be going crazy in the month of April. So I'm all for that. So when I texted you, Mari, I definitely didn't know about these other days. But I want to know from our audience, from those listening, first of all, did you know about any of these days? Did you know about all of them?
Because I didn't. So
yeah.
yeah.
How are you supposed to? Like, how do we get more? I don't know. The other thing
I
is,
also just told you before we hopped in here, Nikki, that Father's Day, for example, in Brazil
Right.
is August 9th. I think it's actually the second Sunday of August, which I forgot about because Father's Day in the US is a different date. So all these dates mixed up with world and Brazil versus US. Thankfully, Mom called me and reminded me to call my dad. But
yeah, not
I
like
just
you could put
forget.
it in your calendar as a reminder or anything.
Nikki,
all right, Mari,
I got things to do. I am a busy woman, okay?
Mari, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add all of these pickleball days and months to my calendar, and I'm going to invite you.
Just invite me to it. That's perfect. That'd be great.
Then it's going to send you the reminders.
I appreciate you.
And I expect that you text me next first. Then you text me the Happy National Pickleball Day. We're going to do Happy World Pickleball Day in October, actually.
All right, we'll do something for World Pickleball Day. I'm down. We'll agree to that right now.
Okay, so let's fast forward. I'm just curious. Let's fast forward. It's October 9th, and you're planning tomorrow, which will be October 10th, World Pickleball Day. What are you going to do to celebrate?
Well, good question. I need to see where I'm going to be on October 10th. That's
You're
the first step,
gonna be
figuring out where I'm going to be. And then I'm probably going to be playing pickleball or doing something pickleball related. I have a feeling that it might be the same for you.
Would you? Yeah, I'm going to have a court reservation all day. Maybe I'll be throwing an event on that day because I did not throw an event on this one because I didn't know what was going to happen. So would you be playing for fun? Let's say that it was not a PPA tournament. Would you go out there
for fun
and just...
every day, Nikki?
Good answer. What a good answer.
You set me up for success there.
Yeah, I just set you up with a nice little alley-oop there. So yeah, how about this? Would you sign up? How about this? Would you sign up for an open play?
If my mother is here and really wants me to go with her, that's the only reason why I'll do it.
Come on, Mari. We got to get you to do it with or without Mama.
If Nikki is here and Nikki really wants me to do it, I'll probably do it too. All right. I'll give you the second priority there, but you have to be where I am.
Okay. No, we're not doing it in New York unless we haven't to fly you up here. I'll go to Florida. Sure, why not? I need a trip down there. All right, you heard it here first. Everybody join us. So the next thing that we're going to celebrate is October 10th. Mari and I are hitting up an open play. She's going to be my partner, and I'm going to crush everyone. It's going to be wonderful. And I'm going to split step by the time I get there because that's something I've been working on.
That's like music to my ears, Nikki.
Yeah.
Hey, on the split step note, did you know that my split step video, which I thought was kind of a silly video because I don't think about things right.
It's not a freaking silly video. How many times have I told you this?
So we're going to pivot things here, okay? Because we're going to talk about content a little bit because there's just so many things that are fascinating to me about content. And I say that my third job is content creation, right? I say I'm a pro pickleball player, a coach, teacher, and a content creator. So that's my 3 jobs. You have a couple of jobs too, and content creation is certainly one of them. So my split step video is one of the most successful videos I've ever had. And I couldn't believe it. But then when I actually stopped to think about it, split stepping to me is so natural because I come from tennis. When I kept saying it to you, you saw an immediate change in your preparation. Like I saw it in your face when we were working on it in the clinic. And it's something that to me, it just doesn't even cross my mind to not do it. So I am really trying to do a better job of identifying holes like that I can really help people increase their level with something small, right?
Like what are little things that we are doing out there on the rec courts that maybe you're not aware of? Things that maybe seem so simple.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But even
yeah.
the last YouTube video that I released, which again, for those of you that are listening that don't already follow Nikki and I have an Instagram page that I post a ton of quick tips. So minute to a minute and a half tips. And then I have my YouTube videos that are usually 5 to 15 minutes, depending on how much I want to talk about something. But I just released one about where to aim your third shot drops. And
Yeah.
I did that one because I asked my students, Nikki, let me ask you here. We'll do it live. When you're
No,
hitting
on
your
the
third shot
spot.
drops, do you think about where you're going to hit them exactly? Like, could you pinpoint where you're aiming, or are you just aiming in a certain general direction?
Yes.
Yes to what?
I was hoping you'd let me off the hook.
You just said
The
yes.
answer is yes. The answer to an
It's
or no. Do I think about where I'm hitting them? I'm getting more into the more that I play, I'm starting to get more strategic and thoughtful about my placement than I ever have been in the past. Am I actually landing them where I want them to go strategically? No. So a little bit of yes, a little bit of no in there.
right.
But
And
but
and
by
that's
no
a
means like the video that you shared. Yeah.
I don't ask these questions to make my students feel bad about themselves. It's just basically we are not thinking about things that actually make our life easier. So
Right.
the way that I'm trying to instruct online and in person is to make you think outside the box and think through things rather than having to make immediate decisions when things are happening. So
Yeah.
that's kind of become my style. You've seen it in my clinics. Pretty cool to see that just my channels have been growing. I'm at over 60,000 across all my platforms now and probably getting about 2 million views a month, which is
Easy.
not that impressive yet. But
For a
Nikki, you have a
pickleballer.
smaller following than me and you're killing it out there.
Yeah, yeah, because I make videos that are super informative about split stepping and dropping the ball really strategically. I'm a fantastic no.
Okay, Mari.
I yeah. Really quickly before we talk about my content, I just want to call out that something from that drops video that to your point, things that we're not thinking of. I might even be thinking like generally where I want to place the ball. One thing I wasn't thinking about that you really, really eloquently put in that video is why certain shots. So because the net is lower here, because the player is approaching here, already
Right.
standing
The
here, or whatever.
why.
Like
Yeah.
the why, like that part of the why, not even just where to place it, whatever. And even like, do I want the ball to bounce ideally? What if it does bounce? What if it doesn't bounce? Like all of those sorts of things. There's a lot. There's really like it's like chess. It's almost like chess. There's so much
You're thinking a
strategy.
few steps ahead. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So good stuff. I was watching
Hey,
that
thanks for
video.
watching, Nikki.
I actually watched this video. Okay, Mari. I actually
I'll
did.
take it.
Yeah. I'm trying to get better. But yeah, as far as my content goes, my content is so different than yours. And it's very engaging in such a different way because I call myself a lifestyle content creator. Post review videos, I post court reviews, I post events, different events. I just did a National Pickleball Day event the other day
Hmm.
where we did a 1 point challenge. That was really fun. And
Electric.
everyone showed up and they were like, what are we doing? What do you mean 1 point? Like, do we get to, is it just like one on your serve? It was crazy. And we all had to play singles. I have video of me playing singles. I may have gotten a point in there. But the other thing, I think probably the most relevant thing is anything that has to do maybe with the community. When I'm talking to people, when I'm asking people, about themselves, all of that, people really like that. And then I will say something that I'm going to put out there because this might be a little, maybe a hot take. I love trends. I love doing trends. My partner is really great about scrolling social media and she finds all of these different trends to do. And I think that that's a fantastic way to expand beyond the pickleball bubble, beyond our world and introduce people to the game because people start following me from me doing these trends. And then before you know it, I've had people say that I've introduced them to pickleball. So like
That's
little things like
awesome.
that. Like I love that kind of stuff and it's fun. They're really, really fun videos. So I like doing those. But I would say for my content, maybe the most engaging, the most, I don't know if it's the most relevant or what most exciting is paddle reviews like that. We'll talk more about that soon. But yesterday I posted a video from a new paddle from Yola. It's a completely unreleased paddle, although they just announced the launch date, which is going to be September 22nd. It's a paddle called the Radius. And so I kind of like hid the paddle. And this thing has, I don't know, I think it had like over 50,000 views in less than 24 hours. I think it's like 12
Pretty
hours, something
freaking
like that.
good.
Yeah. And people are going wild over this thing that what is this unreleased little monster from Yola? So, and it's a really cool paddle. Matter of fact, not that you can, and you don't have to speak on this, Mari. I don't want to get you in trouble, but it was made for the flick. Just going to say it was literally, that's the shape of it. It was literally made for the flick. I
Yeah,
was,
Adidas does a pretty good job with the flick,
there you go.
But yeah.
There you go. That's all right. That's all right.
No,
That's
there's
exactly
a
what,
lot of good
yeah.
paddles out there. First of all, before I comment on that, Nikki, I think what's special about your content, which I also watch some of, okay? It goes both ways here.
That's nice.
But I think what shines through is your happiness and your joy in the sport, which is something that we need more of. While we overlap in the topic, we rarely overlap in actually our functionality in the space,
So different.
right? So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool that we can collab with each other and talk about these things and just add on to each other's stuff rather than competing. So it's pretty cool that we get to see. I just love to see the comments on your stuff. I'll sometimes go in there and talk to a couple of people I just love seeing the joy that it brings. And even when it's not positive comments too, I love to see that you actually answer them like a normal human being rather than just trying to fight. I love
Oh my
handling these
gosh.
trolls that way. And yeah,
Bring
it's
on the
just really cool to
trolls.
see. But
Yeah.
the content world in pickleball has blown up. And to your point, there's people like you that are doing things that are not necessarily on court related to technique and strategy like I'm doing, which I try to do some personality stuff too. But I try to do a couple of trends, and I'm waiting for you to send me more. No pressure,
I'm
Nikki.
sorry, Michelle's on
Michelle,
it. She
come on.
was sick this weekend. Let's give her a break.
Yeah, she needs a break too. But yeah, I'm all for it. And I love what you've done with your content so far. And I think it's going to continue blowing up.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do a crossover where you do a trend and I teach something?
You should teach
That
me
would be-
something.
That would be hilarious. Let me think about that. Look,
I'll try to
okay,
follow
everybody.
your instructions.
That'd be like
teach me
I don't know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How to make a peanut butter and jelly
That would
sandwich.
be like the easiest thing. No, which is actually not as easy. We do this exercise in my training. I teach people how to train. I teach trainers essentially in the corporate world. And one of the things we teach them to do, we start really easy, is like teach someone how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I'm like, that's actually not as easy as you think it is, which is why we do this exercise.
Teaching is a difficult
hard.
thing. Yeah.
It's tough. There's the way you phrase things, right? Just because it makes sense in your head doesn't make sense for everybody else. But what do you want? I don't know. Listen, I would love to hear from the listeners. I would love to hear from the audience. What are some things that you would want to even learn about? Or what's some type of content that you like to see? What's stuff that you maybe want to see from us? Of? Yeah, exactly.
Give us some ideas here. We're running out of them.
Mari's already a pole influencer. What more do you want, people?
Day 40, Nikki. This is pretty good.
Day
40 of pole influencing, POLL, to be clear, at page that likes to call me out there. And before I forget, I do want to mention that the content is not just limited to what's being posted out there. I am part of an instructional platform with Zane that's called Transition Zone Pickleball, and we have a ton of stuff that I do live with students. I've taught so many people in person, but the experience, Nikki, to your point, you did a clinic with me and then you won't see me for a few months and I don't get to follow up and watch you and keep giving you tips. So that was the intent of this instructional platform. Basically, people get to talk to me. I do 2 Q&As a month that people can come ask me any question. I do form reviews once a month, and I do a live clinic. I actually put my headphones on, take the laptop to the court, and I teach with people on Zoom with me.
Wild.
And they get to ask me questions throughout it. Everyone on the other courts is looking at me weird, but I don't care.
What
it's
is
a great
this woman doing with a laptop on the court? Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. There's just a lot of cool stuff going on behind the scenes. So there's pretty much a solution for everything that I've thought of so far, whether it's through us two or anyone else in the content space. But yeah, I just want to make sure to put that out there too.
Yes. So learn more from Mari and all her forms of teaching content, and then let us know what you want to see more from us. But speaking of content, I don't know, Mari, do you have like a content legend, somebody who maybe you look up to in the world of content?
Yeah, there's certain people that are gifted with the speaking part and with the knowledge and with the ability to teach. And we had the privilege of having Kyle Koszuta on the podcast today, and he'll be joining us here soon. But first of all, awesome guy. I want to start by saying that friend of mine, someone that I get along with really well, someone that I respect both on the court and off the court. He is a pro pickleball player himself and the founder of That Pickleball School, which if you haven't heard about and you're in the pickleball space, that's kind of crazy. This guy started it so long ago, former basketball player that just kind of got started on content super early. And he does so many cool things. He's the guy that kind of started this for us, right, Nikki, with the ideas of what we're going to do in the content space. So super excited for y'all to listen from Kyle.
You might not know if you're listening, when Mari, you just said his full name, Kyle Koszuta. And I'm wondering how many people up until this point know exactly who we're talking about. I think the real ones will, but everyone else may be a little bit confused. So how else might people know this guy?
That Pickleball Guy. So,
Woo,
founder
there
of
it
That
is.
Pickleball School, That Pickleball Guy, Kyle Koszuta. I also do want to mention something that Kyle and I were talking about recently, and he recently launched this, so it's a pretty big deal. A pickleball personality test. So, it's basically a short quiz that's designed to help players discover their national playing style and better understand their own game. I
Okay.
cannot state how important this is. Nikki, you should probably take it.
I'm
And
going
you
to take
can
the
take it
quiz.
at pickleballpersonalitytest.com. Please post your results because I want to see them.
I'm taking the quiz right now. Who needs BuzzFeed anymore, millennials? We're
True.
moving on. We're moving on to pickleballpersonalitytest.com. I like it.
Absolutely. And understanding your game is going to make you a better player. For us coaches, we can help you more if we understand your game style too. And sometimes what you think is not what you do. So keep that in mind. Kyle was an awesome guest. I can't wait for y'all to listen to this. So
Let's get him in here. Yeah, come on, Kyle. Let's do this.
Kyle. All right. We have a pretty special guest today. No one actually knows his name. Everyone knows him as That Pickleball Guy. Don't call him that. I feel like that should be your first name. I call you Kyle. Kyle, how's it going? Welcome to the pod.
Thank you. It's good. For a long time, and maybe even still, but I'll go to tournaments and stuff, and then people will yell That Pickleball Guy from across the way, which originally, when I was thinking about the name, I mean, like 5 years ago, I was like, oh, that could happen. I could be there, like, yeah, it's that Pickleball Guy. And then I realized it's kind of annoying. They don't know my name. And then I also kind of like it that they don't know my name. And so there's a level of anonymity to that. Kind of, not really, I guess. But anyway, so
They got
my
to
name's
do a little
Kyle.
digging. They got to do a little
Yeah,
digging if they really want to know you.
that's right. Oh, thanks for having me
I
on.
like
This
it.
will be fun.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
thanks for coming on.
Kyle Koszuta. I think that's how you say it, correct?
That's right.
So for anyone that is a That Pickleball Guy fan, if you don't know his name, you should probably figure that one out. All right. I think
Now
he
you
likes
do.
to go by Kyle more than That Pickleball Guy. So I keep saying I think it's a funny name. I think you did great with the branding. Kyle, where'd you come from? How'd you get here? Can you give us a brief rundown of
Your pickleball
how you?
origin story.
There
Yeah.
we go. Thank you, Nikki.
Yeah. I mean, basketball was my whole life. I grew up playing. I kind of played a little bit of everything growing up. Basketball, soccer. I played. My mom would go to this local tennis center, and I would like tag along occasionally and like hit tennis balls. And then I played a little tennis in middle school. But then when I got to ninth grade, it was all basketball, and I wanted to play in college, and so I just fully committed myself to that. And then I ended up playing 4 years of college basketball. And then when my career was over, I think like a lot of athletes, I just was kind of done with it. Like I wasn't the star player in college. And when you are the star player, a lot of times it's a little easier. Life's a little easier. You're not as stressed all the time because you know you're going to play. There's different stresses with that. I was like fighting for playing time a lot. I transferred to a school after 2 years at one school, played another school. And so anyway, 4 years ended, and I was like, I'm kind of just done with getting on a treadmill and running,
Mm.
and I can't ever do anything without like thinking, well, my conditioning is going to be hurt here, and gosh, it was a lot of running. And so I didn't really do much for 2 years or so post college, and then suddenly I got back into playing basketball again, and I did that for maybe 3 years, and now we're like 5 years out of college. And when I moved to Phoenix, I ended up just going to the courts to play for the first time, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is fun. It's in Scottsdale, called Herberger Park. And so I went to the courts, ended up going back the next day, going back the next day. And then one thing led to another. I met Pestazioni, and I got invited to a game with him, and he was, like the best player in town. He's still one of the best guys in town. And we got a chance to play with him and just got hooked on it a little bit, like everybody has. It just kind of like grabs you and it doesn't let you go. And then you start getting into some better games with players, and there's always another level where once you feel like you like hit a certain level, it's like, no, there's another level up. Or, you learn how to hit a shot. Like, well, it doesn't work as well against the next level. And so I just kept doing that and found a great group of guys. In fact, Zach Silvernail, Mara, you met Zach?
Oh yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
Augie's coach. So that means
Yeah.
he's my coach in PPAs too.
Yeah. And so Zach actually just officially started coaching me too. And
All right.
he actually was at the courts. We've been friends forever. He actually worked inside that pickleball school with me for about a year and a half. But when I went to the courts for the very first time ever, Zach was there. And we got a chance to meet and play. And then all of a sudden, my very first tournament ever, we played in it together. And so you just meet these great people. And formed some good friendships. And so anyway, one thing led to another. And all of a sudden I started training and I was like, this will be fun. Let me pursue pro pickleball. After I figured out that was a thing, there was good players. I'm like, well, I'm never going to the NBA. It's about 150 times harder to play in the NBA than I think it would be to become a pro pickleball player. And so I gave up playing recreational basketball, went all in on pickleball, started, was going with Zach, and there's a couple other guys I would start drilling with, 4.5 years ago. And then I've basically just been on that same path of like training, daily for, 4 or 5 years. And along the way, my current business partner, his name's Tyler, he said, you should do content around this. Because I was already doing content in the previous job I had. And so I was like, maybe I'll do that, and started documenting my journey to pro. I feel like Rob Nunnery was maybe the first guy that ever did that a long, long time ago. He was like, I'm going to go, play pro pickleball. Then my journey was like, I'm going to go from never playing to pro in 12 months. Let me see if I can do it with very limited tennis background, even another part of that story. And then now I feel like, trying to go pro is like the very, very common. There's a lot of people doing it, and I wasn't the first, but there wasn't many doing it at the time. And so I did that. I went on this like mission to become a pro player in 12 months. And it took me a little longer than 12 months, but it took me like, I don't know, 15 to 18 or so. And then,
Pretty good.
Yeah, not too shabby.
It wasn't, I was just committed to it. I was having a blast. I had I put a lot of ping pong in my house with my brother growing up, and tennis a little bit in middle school. And I was really young, and then still had, I was still working out. I had good athleticism. And then I was just really committed, like out of real learner's mindset. Like, let me just learn everything I can from anybody. I don't care, what age, what level they are. And that's kind of the mindset I've taken all along. But then I just captured content along the way. And that's kind of how this whole content thing got started. I wasn't really doing educational stuff because I didn't know what I was doing. I was still trying to figure it out. But I think once I got to around 5 or so, I think I started the YouTube channel. And now it's just, it's grown. And that's really the origin story all the way up to what's happening right now.
Woo, man. And, you really, really nailed that educational stuff. Like, all of that, you got in at the perfect time. Kyle, I'm curious, with such a rich basketball background, what would you say are some of the most common, I think, benefits that you get for your pickleball game from a sport like that?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a story. I remember being at basketball practice, and I played 2 years at the Division I level. And so like in high school, I was one of the better players in the area. And when I went to college, everybody's good. And so I'm at practice one day, and I'm not the fastest guy in the team by any stretch. Like, everybody was the best player on their high school team, and everybody is faster than me. And so we're doing this one-on-one defensive drill, and our coach puts me out there. It's like in basketball terms, it's a closeout drill. So basically you toss the ball out to the guy, and you run out, and you basically just have to guard him one-on-one. And it was kind of funny for the coach because I just couldn't do it. So he was like, go again till you can stop him. Couldn't stop that guy. Next guy in line. Go again till you can stop him. Couldn't stop that guy. Go again till you stop him. And so I'm like embarrassed. I'm also fatigued. I'm so tired. And the more tired you get, the worse defender you become.
You're gonna get.
And I was already starting off pretty bad, right? And so coach made some jokes that day and for the rest of my career about how I wasn't very good guarding one-on-one. But fast forward to a film session after one of our games, coach gave me this great celebration about, there was this play where I was in the right position, and then I took a charge, and then there was another play where I cut off the ball at the right moment. And he made it a big point about how I was always in the right place at the right time. And so like when that's the situation, you don't really have to be as fast, because if you're already standing in the right location, you don't then have to like run to the right location. And so it really came out of necessity of being slow. And like, if you were to see me move on a pickleball court, like I'm fairly quick and I move pretty well, but you're playing Division I college basketball, but these guys are fast.
It's tough.
So it's tough. So to answer your question, how does it relate? So much of maybe any sport is like, there's the strategic side, and there's like the players who can really think the game in a specific way, and that gives them an edge. And so in basketball, for making up for like a lack of speed and athleticism, I had to think faster and try to think ahead and anticipate more than anybody else in order to play at the level I played. And with pickleball, I've just taken that same approach, which is like, if I can and that's actually what I built my whole online school around. And it's kind of how I think about all the content is, if I can help somebody think about the game differently, see the game a little bit differently. Okay, you don't have to be as athletic. You don't have to have the strokes like, some of these tennis players have. I think in any sport, we're always, there's parts of our game that are not good. There's parts of our game that are very good. And so, I was a shooter playing basketball, And so I just kind of optimized for how do I get shots off, but I wasn't very good defensively. So I just had to like figure that, and so as you're getting older, a basketball analogy is like if you're really fast, you can just always like drive past kids, but you don't maybe
Yeah.
learn how to shoot. That was the thing. Like they wouldn't learn how to shoot because they were so fast, but the shooters could never drive. And so like you go through your development and so that's how I've approached pickleball. Like last thing I'll say on it is there's such a, if you play pickleball, the strategy side of it is awesome.
Yeah.
It's part of what
Yep.
I think is just so fun about the game is there's like, you think you have a certain strategy, but then they pick up on it, they change their strategy, then you got to change your strategy based on what they changed. And there's so many different ways to win. The very best players, like when you start to think about a Ben Johnson and Lee Waters, they're the players who, I think it's the same in every sport. They are the players who, in my opinion, are the smartest,
Yes.
to a certain depth. Like a lot of people have strategy, like maybe 1 or 2 layers deep, but then other people have strategy that goes 9 layers deep. And I see them as, 2 of the obvious examples of players that have strategy that go 9 layers deep. Plus, they also can execute and they have the skill set. When you put that combination together, go back to basketball. Like for me, that's when you have an NBA basketball player. You have someone who's
Yep.
super intelligent and you also have someone that's really smart. That's a superstar in the NBA. There's not that many of them. And I think pickleball is the same. There's actually a lot of really smart players out there, but maybe they can't just hit the ball as well as they need to. Like that's kind of where I'm always working on my games.
You don't have to call me out here, Kyle.
And her name's Mari Humberg.
The ones that just slice, the ones who are just slicing everywhere.
Yeah, it's like,
hey,
no, I think that's
I really like this direction that you've taken in the answer to. This is something that happens often, and Kyle, same thing might happen to you. I'm teaching a clinic at times. Let's say I have 8 students. I see them all hit, and I'm like, oh, that one's clearly the best, and that one's second, that one's third. In my head, I can tell by the strokes, and then I go watch them play, and it's not the case because there's one that outsmarts the other in the way that they play. So it's always so interesting to see what's actually going to happen when they go out and play. It's the part of the game I love the most. I think that's what Kyle and I connected on most when we got to talking. It's just the two of us kind of actually love the strategy part of it and thinking about what comes next. While we recorded our videos, we were like challenging each other. I feel like you were asking me questions. I was asking you questions, and we're like, interesting.
It's like chess. Yeah, it really is like chess.
It is like chess. And, I hurt my wrist for like 6 months a few years ago, and I was sat out, and everyone says it's like chess. And so true. I made a YouTube video. It's called like 5 chess strategies you can use in pickleball. And I actually like gathered these chess books because I was like, how do they study pattern recognition in chess? Because there's this thing called chess game vision. It's basically like you give an expert a chess board that is in like the middle of a game, right? You put the board down. They could tell you where in the game that is. They could tell you the next moves because they've recognized that pattern, and then they could tell you how to win from that position. But if you were to drop a chessboard in front of a chess grandmaster with random pieces, they would be confused. They would like, this doesn't make sense.
No
this
idea.
isn't how. And so I think, chess is so much about, and pickleball is kind of the same over and over. There's little nuances here and there, but it's like, you're going to serve it, they're going to return it. You might serve it here, you might serve it there. And so it's like, as you get farther and farther along, players talk about patterns all the time, but it's just like a big if-then chart. If I hit it there, they're most likely to hit it here. I'm going to do this. And then they're going to hit it here. Then I'm going to do this. And I'd say that's what the best players, I'll just go back to like the Ben Johnson and Lee Waters, very beginner players think in one-shot terms. Other players start to think, in combo terms. And then I think the very best are thinking in sequences that might go, 5 shots deep. Like my shot, my first shot, my second shot, my third shot, my fourth shot, my fifth shot. Oops, nothing worked. Back to another sequence.
The next level is even you do that with your partner.
Yeah, and that's
communication. Woo! That is
that's
scary.
pretty. I think that's where it gets fun, and I think pickleball's moved into that. That's a great point, Mari. Like moved into that area more where there's like MLP. You have a consistent partner, and then more so, and players are still always switching partners, which. There's benefits to switching partners, of course. Like people might not know your collective tendencies. Maybe you have more gracious energy with each other. There's those things. And then there's also the downsides of that, which is you got to relearn sequences with each other. I hit here, that's going to set up this. And so anyway, it's super fun. It's a constant. You're never going to get to mastery, but the pursuit of mastery is like the most fun thing ever.
It's awesome. What an answer, Nikki.
What an answer. I think you answered my question, Kyle. Yeah, I think you nailed it.
I don't even remember what you asked.
I asked how your day was going.
She asked either, but you answered it.
You did
Yeah.
beautifully. No, I also just want to call to attention that I think that's what's so unique about pickleball. I think Mari, you bring also a good point into this about the partner side of things, and just considering this is such a heavy doubles game, there are just so many elements that keep you on your toes with your pickleball IQ. Right? It's like Ben Johns is by no means the most athletic guy out there on the courts, but my gosh, his IQ is just phenomenal. I think it just makes it more appealing. And I also think that's why there's such a wide spectrum. Not only is it an easy game to learn, right? It kind of captures people that makes it more fun and more enticing than just pure brute force of other sports. So yeah, great answer. Great answer.
Mari, can I ask you a question?
Here he comes, switching the roles on me. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Well, we were bringing
Kyle's
up
show now.
We were just bringing up Ben and Anna Lee, and you played with Anna Lee for I think all of last year. Is that like 12 months or I don't know the whole
24.
season?
Yeah,
24. Yeah, and so I mean, you like stood next to her, and I played rec with her 2 or 3 times, and so you get to see. There's the obvious, like the power and I think just like more than anything, though, the competitiveness. Like she's the most competitive person in the world. I mean, probably just bar none. But like how she sees the shots she hits. You watch her play. Here's my question: did you hear her talk about combinations much or sequences much? Or okay, I've never really talked the game with her like that, and so she's definitely like speaking that out a lot. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's actually super cool to see her and Lee working together on that stuff and how hard she is on herself. If she's talking about how a certain person doesn't like this spot for a speed up and she hits it here instead, she's like, oh, I missed my spot. It's like, wait, you hit it barely off. You still put the ball away. She's like, yeah, but I didn't make perfect contact. Like her definition of miss is so different than ours. It is pretty cool to see, though, Kyle. I got to be a part of those strategy discussions. I got to be a part of the decisions on what we were going to do. And a lot of that was partner combos. So what can I do to set her up for success in those shots, too? So very cool to be a part of, for sure. And I mean, she's unbelievable. So props to AL for what she's done so far and what's coming up, because I think she's not anywhere near done yet. So.
And that's what's crazy. I saw Steph Curry talking about this. I love basketball, so I still will pay attention to this stuff. But Steph Curry is one of my favorite players ever. And someone was asking him about just his game and how good he is and all these things. And he made a point, kind of like what you were just saying, from a level of detail perspective, that he goes to the infinite degree of detail that most would never think about, from even the way he catches the ball, holds the ball, puts his elbow in a certain position, to how he gets his feet set, going left on the left wing versus going right near the corner, and all those things. And so it is fascinating, even just listening to you. It makes me want to like get a little more precise on my targeting, where it's like, no, that's right. Like 2 inches to the right will win that point. Or 1 inch to the right.
It's tiny, but it makes such a big difference, right? Especially in our sport, that if you don't hit a correct spot, that counter's coming at you so fast that it isn't, and maybe not as fast for you yet, Nikki.
I don't know. Rec players get pretty wild out there. If you saw some of these,
we got some DeLam
bangers.
Paddles going crazy out there too. So yeah, no tested paddles will get you that. All right, I'm gonna switch topics a little bit on here. Kyle, I'm curious. So to me, I was mentioning this to Nikki. She was asking me some about you. I was like, I actually do know a little bit about him. We've gotten to chat quite a bit in the past, but I think you've built a little empire, right? That's what we're going to call it here. So Kyle's little empire. So you've got That Pickleball Guy. That's you. You've got That Pickleball School. What else is there? What are you doing? What's the expansion? Is this your career forever?
Yeah, all along, I've just really wanted to play. It always started with, I just want to play. Like I want to become a pro pickleball player. That was the leading indicator, whatever the phrase is, of where my attention was. And so I thought about starting That Pickleball School 2 years before I started it, because I had done some work in online education and basketball, especially during COVID. I was working at a company. We did basketball camps in person, but then we had to shut them down for COVID, and we created this online educational platform for high school kids who wanted to get better at basketball but didn't have the ability to go in person. And so I was like, man, there's nothing in pickleball. Like, I think we could create this. And he's like one of my best friends, Tyler, my business partner in That Pickleball School. We sat down and mapped that out like 7 times. We sat down in a coffee shop. We just drew the image. What could this become? All these different things. And he's had different businesses. So he's like my right-hand guy and everything. And we're collaborating on stuff. But then we didn't do it because I'm just like, no, I want to keep, I just want to pursue playing. If the moment you add more things, you add more time. And I definitely like doing things well when I start something. And so that was always on my mind. But then I hurt my wrist, started that pickleball school. And so I've kind of just added one thing at a time, where originally it was just I did an Instagram page and I wrote an email newsletter once a week. And then, I don't know, a year and a half later, I started a YouTube channel. And then, I don't know, I might be off on these timelines a little bit, but another year I added that pickleball school. And then over time, partnered with Selkirk originally, and they were really, really great partners. And then partnered with Pickleball Vision, and which is an AI platform where you can put footage in and you can get all these different metrics and data on your game, which is pretty fascinating. And most recently with Friday. And so I'd say, my day to day and my vision of this is like 10 years. 10 years isn't the cap, but I'm thinking like 5 to 10 years. I still want to be doing what I'm doing. I think I can still play at a high level for, I say 5 years, and I look at, certain guys who are playing and girls who are playing so well past 40. So we'll see, but I'm having a blast doing this. I think, Friday pickleball has become a huge part of my life in many ways. One, Jake, Isaac, and Scott, the three guys you see on camera, have become really close friends. Jake and his wife introduced me to my fiance. And so that was a
That's
fun
awesome.
thing. And then Jake and his wife, Rachel, and Isaac, two of the three I just mentioned, they've actually moved to Phoenix in the last 10 days. And so there's a lot going on with content with those guys. And so to answer your question, my focus area is still, I think a lot of people, they see a lot of the content, but I don't know, maybe they don't know I still train. I'm on court, or I'm doing physical stuff, or I'm training like 3 or 4 hours every day. Not on court 3 or 4 hours, but like, I'm lifting weights, or like, recovery stuff. And sometimes I'm on court 3 hours over the course of a couple sessions, but that's still a big part of my life. And I want it to be for a while. I love playing. I love trying to get better in all of those things. I think as you're probably finding out doing content, more recently, and doing a great job at it, is it's when you play, you just continue to have insights. And those insights are interesting
Absolutely.
to a lot of people, and those insights are relatable to, if you can make them relatable to the beginner player all the way up to a pro player. And so, to go back to your question, that pickleball guy and content is going to continue to exist. I'm just trying to do it better and, frame things and think through things so I can explain it more simply, so people can actually take the information and use it to get better, and hopefully experience, better results on court. 'Cause it's more fun when you're playing better, and then it's more fun when you're winning and all those things. And then that pickleball school, I'm just continuing to invest in that and try to make that even better, and to grow it. It's a pretty fascinating thing to, like, we have about 1,250 people in there. And when I first started it, I was like, I don't want to grow it too big. I want to be able to like really interact with these people and keep it intimate and have the personal touch. And as I've continued to do it, I actually want to continue to just grow it, because it's so amazing to watch inside the conversations that are happening from like-minded people. When you have a group of over 1,000 people who are the more like dedicated player, the more obsessed learner. They really want to improve this thing. They're not just like going out recreationally to play. And we're talking about, it could be a number of things and really any topic. And they're investing their time to go in there as if it's, kids are going on Instagram, and everyone's going on Instagram, and like they're going into this platform and they're talking pickleball. It's fun, And so that's going to just be something I continue to try to grow. And then just, with Friday as well, just trying to continue to invest in working with those guys as they're just close friends and they're doing amazing content. And things will come up as they come, but you both probably realize, like in your own lives, the more you add, the more time, and something at
Oh,
some
yeah.
point has to give. And so I'm kind of like pickleball content and all that goes in with that, pickleball playing, and my fiance, those three things.
Yeah. You're
Hey,
going to have Friday on the back of your tux. You're going to have a sponsorship on the back of your tux, given that they created this. They brought you together, this
exactly.
matchmakers. Actually, really quickly, I just
100%.
want to call out the PB vision that you have, the connection that you have with that is incredible. I believe your AI bot told me that I'm a 4.5 on there. So I am really, really happy with that, because I'm
Yeah.
nowhere near that.
And I probably underestimated too. You're probably 5.
There you go. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Kyle, I have one question really quickly. I mean, you truly have built an empire. What you just talked about is massive. You are that pickleball guy. What's one thing you haven't conquered yet? What's something that's on your list that you're like, whether you actually have your eyes on it and it's realistic, or if it's just kind of a dream down the road that you would want to do?
From a playing side, I played the APP tour all of last year, the last like year and a half or so. And I'm just going to be playing PPA events moving forward, which was a very intentional decision. I'm not signed by the PPA right now, but I think in time, getting on an MLP team is something that would be awesome. I think that's a goal. And then I don't have too many outcome-based goals when it comes to playing. Everyone has the same outcome-based goals. Like, I want to be top 25. I want to win the tournament. So at some point, you're like, of course, the North Star is to move into those higher positions. And also, I just, for myself, have realized if the byproduct is winning, where I get like the day to day is my focus, obviously, is like working on my game and controlling the things I can control, all the quotes we could say. I tend to play the best. And so I feel like I've been playing good pickleball more recently with a mindset more like that is not just so outcome based. Cause yeah, it's like getting to number one in the world is, it's pretty hard. Ben John's pretty good. Number two, though, is a pretty good goal. So maybe number two in the world.
Great.
No, but
Yeah.
I think those are a couple goals. And then, truthfully, business wise, if I just took that as another bucket, it's not like growing the biggest business I could grow. And truthfully, if I wanted to do that, I probably would stop playing and I would work 8 hours a day in the business. And
Yeah.
through injury at time, I've been on the laptop 8-10 hours a day, and I know what that's like. And I also know what it's like where I just like didn't work and just played pickleball. And I actually don't like either of those on their own. I mean, they're both great. Okay, just for clarity, they're both good. But as far as like what I enjoy most, it's having the balance of both. And I think the playing side also just like
I agree with that.
Yeah, it keeps you sharp physically. It's fun. You get to compete, and yeah, you're working to be the very best player you could be. I think most everyone who's playing is probably doing that. I know I am. And then the business side is, and I'm not wired like that. I'm actually definitely wired to like never stop and just like grow it so big.
Of
I want it
course.
to be like
You have to be. You have to be like that. Yeah.
So my constant is I just want to like continue to wake up every day super inspired to go to work and go to the courts or get on my computer and try to build the pickleball school into something super helpful. And that's like one thing. It's like I want it to be helpful for people. And so when people even like leave, I'm like, it's okay. Like I need to figure out why they left, and then let's try to make it more helpful. But there's so many good like storylines on this where there's like a guy who's a fisherman or something, and he's fishing, and someone's like, why don't you just like sell this and then buy that? And then he's like, well, then so what? If I started this fisherman business, he's like, well, then so you can make a lot of money. It's like, so what? Well, then you could franchise the model and then so what? It's like, then so you go down the way, and it's like, so that you could just be on your boat on your own fishing. He's like, I'm doing that right now. So like, what are you optimizing for is something I think about a lot. And I think for me, it's optimizing a lot for competing, enjoying the work every day, and spending time with people that I want to be spending time with.
Sounds fulfilling.
Not too
Sounds like a
bad.
great life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle, a question for you, because this happens to me. My content's nowhere near the level of yours yet, but how often do you get stopped at pickleball facilities for your playing versus your content?
I think it's like 99% content. I don't think.
I think I might be at 90% content.
Yeah, and you just reach more people. It's like even right now, I was playing APP events last year, and they're not getting a ton of traction, and like the social media is not reaching the absolute masses on a consistent basis. And so, we went to Malaysia, the Friday guys, me, and went there a couple weeks ago, and like it's crazy. I never signed so many autographs in my life. I've been practicing.
Yeah.
I was practicing for that moment like my entire high school career. Like I'm a doodler, so like even right now I have my iPad. It's like as we're talking, I'm just like kind of coloring.
Yeah.
And so it's like in high school I was just like constantly writing my signature. And like age 32 in Kuala Lumpur, I was writing. That's why I signed too many autographs. It was crazy. So, but that comes from content. I think most people know Anna Lee probably through playing, Ben through playing. Tyson. It's like you can name a bunch of people, but people are going to know you and Tanner and me. People who are doing content are going to probably have a larger fan base earlier until pickleball continues to grow even more than it has.
Right. Yeah, I'm always curious about that because sometimes I'm walking with another pro player that's my level and I get stopped and they're like, wow, why did you get stopped? Because of my videos, for sure. Because they watch my videos, they end up watching me play and then they come cheer you on at tournaments. So it's pretty cool to see that overlap. Our following of our content becomes our playing fans. So it's a hack to get people cheering for you at tournaments.
Yeah. They come up to me for my content mostly too, Mari. Yeah.
I thought so too.
Less for my game. Yeah. Not so much.
I was going to ask you next, Nikki.
I figured. I just beat you to it. Yeah.
And people also like you have a better chance of. If you can help somebody, like truly help somebody improve their game, the downstream effects of that are so great because they think about when you play poorly, you didn't enjoy that moment on court, and then you get in your car and you're thinking about it the whole way home. There's no music on. You sit in your driveway. You're like, I quit. Like, is this even worth it? I see these conversations happening in the pickleball school all the time, and then eventually you're like, maybe it's like this thing is supposed to bring me joy, and it did at one time. But more recently, is I've been trying to get better. I'm getting left behind by my friends, and now I'm not getting invited. There's so many things that can happen like that. And so, but you help them on the flip side, where my drops and my mindset have improved so much, and my backhand slice is better than it's ever been. And so now I'm able to beat these players I wasn't able to beat the younger players. All of a sudden, like, you just see your self-image oftentimes will improve on the pickleball court of like, and just like an overall enjoyment. And then those people are more likely to be like, hey, Mari, that was an amazing video. It really helped me. They will remember you, not like, hey, Mari, you hit an amazing ATP. I'm a fan forever. Okay. It's a different level of depth on the amount of like fan that they are.
That's an excellent point about the shift. And, everyone starts in this game. We all get obsessed with it. We're so excited by it. We're in the honeymoon phase. And then that honeymoon dies off and we start taking it too seriously. And then we start getting down on ourselves and treating ourselves and others differently. So for you, what's the key to that mindset shift to getting that happiness back? I know you're talking about improving, but how are you kind of helping your students and just general population shift back to that joy?
Wow, there was a deep question in the school recently about this, and people were talking about it. I mean, the first thing is like, don't get better. Just stay where you're at with your
Yeah.
friends. It's like, no, I've thought about that before. Where I am like, because at first, it's so fun. Like you said, you're in that honeymoon phase. You don't know anything. You're just like, wait, I can't step in there. Okay, I got to stand here. Okay, it's 2-2 what? It's like all these different things are going on, and then as you get better, you like anything. You put more expectation on yourself. And so much of it is perspective. And everyone has so many different circumstances on this, but I'll speak for personal experience and what I encourage people at some level to do. One is to just remember, like, what's the reason that you're actually playing? Are you playing to become a tournament player? Is your goal to like become a senior pro? Or is it just we want to improve every day? And I think we could kind of like move to ends of the extreme of like, I am so committed to getting better that now my relationships are going to suffer or like my happiness is going to suffer because like if I don't play well, everything relies on that. But I think I've had moments like this in my career and then I've had, more recently for the last year or so. I'm just trying to drop my expectations a lot of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to become top 25 because I'm going to just think about that all the time. I'm just trying to like get better today. Also, I'm also trying to like put games in with my friends who are 4-5s. My current friends, I like that. I like having like a fun game every week where I just get to like, maybe I'm a little higher level than the players I'm playing with, but they're my buddies and we laugh a lot. And they get better that game, And so, and there's no pressure on you to like be performing because I'll be practicing in rec and I'm like really working on the skill and it's not working. And I leave pretty frustrated. That's not a perfect answer. I have a good answer written down somewhere when I thought through it a little more. But I don't know, just long game. Like you're going to continue to improve. It's so fun. You can steal your own joy by just having a results-based focus all the time. And so I just try to remove that as much as possible and just be like, no, it's okay. And if I lose, it's like totally okay. I want to win badly, but if I lose, it's okay. There's another tournament,
I think that's a key right there. Exactly what you just said.
I think we were going to say the same thing, Nikki. And to be honest here, amateurs seem to stress more about this than pros do, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kyle, the people that might be asking your pickleball school are probably a 3-7-1 and panicking because they lost to a 3-6-7,
That's exactly right.
A lot of times what I like to tell my students, just to kind of add on to what you're saying there too, is remember why you're doing this, right? If you stop enjoying it, this is not something that you likely should be doing and competing. Maybe step away from tournaments for a little bit and just remember that this is your workout, or this is your chance to spend more time with your partner, or this is where you hang out with, or this is where you make new friends. Whatever your reasoning might be, just remember why. It is frustrating though.
Mari, I just want to call out and commend you for that as well, because even on the last tournament, I know Dave Fleming actually called you. I don't know if you saw this. We're going to have to find the clip of this, but called out you and Zane because you guys were just cracking up, having such a good time. And it was an intense match. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but you guys were having
Zane
such a good time.
cracking jokes.
He's cracking jokes.
He kills me.
You guys are having it, and you're probably just like annoyed and you're like, shut up, Zane. But no, but you guys were having such a good time. And I remember thinking and watching that, and Dave Fleming called that out. And I was like, look at these guys on the biggest stage at the highest level, having such a great time. It was like win or lose, you're going to go out there, give it your all, and have a great time. So I just want to commend you on that. Yeah.
It was really good.
To be
That's
fair,
a great reminder.
for people that haven't watched Kyle play, Kyle, I really like the way that you compete from an opponent perspective and from a spectator perspective, because we haven't had the pleasure of sharing the court yet. Just putting it out there to the world, maybe one day you'll see the Mari Humberg Kyle Koszuta pairing. But
let's make that happen.
He's just,
yes.
I think he competes hard. I think you're someone that is a fair competitor. You compete hard. You're good to your partners, and it's just something that shows. So I always appreciate people like that on tour, and it's just when I watch you play, it's hard to cheer against you, even when you're playing against friends. So I think that's just a compliment to your competition and the way that it's just, there's a lot of people that I would not say that about.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'll just add one final, maybe closer to what you just said on this topic, which is a lot of people. I learned this playing basketball, but their expectations of their performance are not aligned with what they're doing every day to improve. So they're like, man, I can't believe this keeps happening to me. And it's like, well, have you ever practiced that? Like, not in a game situation, And the answer is no, a lot. And then it's like, okay,
Does that hit home,
so
Nikki?
well,
What do you mean? I love drilling.
it's a fair thing to feel frustrated when you miss. But also, if you have like an outsized expectation and you've never practiced that shot, well, it's like that's just not reality in anything. Like, I'm not going into to do a surgery tomorrow, not knowing anything about medicine and like surgical procedures. And that would be stupid. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go fly a plane tomorrow. I don't know anything about piloting. If I go in there, I'm like, man, I don't know what button does this click? What should I be doing? It doesn't make any sense. And so the thing is, like, if you are really working at it, because there's levels to, like, I don't have confidence. I think, if you don't have confidence, sometimes it's just a competence thing. Like, you're not actually super competent in that skill yet. So we got to get more competent in the skill. And then if there is a level of, this was my basketball career, working really hard, my perception of myself, and I'm like not seeing the results I wanted to see. Okay, well, now that's something different, because actually maybe you are competent in the skill and you are doing the work to get better at the thing. But then, like, your mind is really holding you back because you're sabotaging yourself in whatever way. It's your self-talk. It's the way you see yourself. It's what you think about all the time. There's all these different principles and mindset that can improve that. But I would just also, like, just take a step back. If you're listening to this and you're struggling, it's like, hey, is that because you're not really practicing? And if you aren't, but you want to be getting better at the same level you say you do, then just practice a little more. I guarantee you'll get better results. It's like, there's a guitar over there. I suck at it. I don't practice. I shouldn't be good. I shouldn't pick that thing up and be like, why can't I play these songs? So you guys get it.
Another great analogy. And people just don't look at it like that. And then the problem is, I'm actually going to blame you guys for this, because you guys make it look too easy. You guys are so good at what you do.
We practice for it, though, right? That's exactly what he just said. I spent 4 hours on court today. How many did you spend, Nikki?
I was playing till 10 p.m. last night, and then I felt hungover today. So it was awful. This morning I woke up and I was like, I can't move. Yeah.
I love this line. I don't even know where I heard this from, but like, it takes effort to make something look effortless. And
truly,
a lot of effort.
Truly.
Unbelievable amount of effort, So I think that's for anybody. Maybe that'll be helpful
That's
for somebody.
absolutely spot on. Oh, man. Woo. Kyle, I'm going to ask, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about the content game? What lights you up and makes you so excited? And then what is just like bane of your existence about it?
Yeah, what's my favorite thing? The creative process of, like, thinking of ideas and putting the ideas together. Filming I have a lot of fun filming. The beginning part of edits, I have an editor, but like, there's still a lot of thinking through, how this edit's going to go. I don't love the beginning part, but then once the edit's, like, all the camera angles are right and it's sequenced well, and we can start working on the fun stuff, I really like that. Yeah, I don't know. There's not very many things I don't like about it, beside a couple of the editing things. In anything in life, if you're going to be able to, if you really, really enjoy the thing, there might be a few things you don't like about it, but if you really enjoy it, even the stuff you don't like about it's not that big of a deal, which is why content can be hard. If you don't love content, but it's like good for your brand and it can potentially help you make better income, which is very true, it'll just be harder to overcome when you really don't want to do it, or you're traveling for tournaments and you're only home for a few days. And so I know what the hardest thing is. I was just buying time to think. The hardest thing is that it's doing content, or like thinking of ideas, or even like, oh, I need to work on this edit, or I need to whatever, is right when you get back from a tournament. Like, in the first 2 days back, I'm just so fried. Like, a weekend tournament, you play Friday, I've been playing these challengers, Mari.
I totally understand that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You're like six, like these challengers are, I got to the finals in men's, so that was like 5 matches, 2 out of 3. I played 6 matches in the mixed one. And the other day, like, you get back and you're like, all right, Monday I'm going to crush it. And I can't like process information on Monday. And then like I try to, and so then I can't. And then on Tuesday I try again, but I didn't like take rest on Monday. And so then by like Thursday I'm back doing content. I'm like, that's why it's hard to do content if you're on the road playing 25 events. I'm like, I wouldn't. Yeah, there's so much emotion into an event, a tournament, MLP.
I batch film just to be able to have enough, but. Yeah, no, you're right. I agree with that. The weekend or the day after a tournament, I need to just like lay there and watch mindless shows.
Yeah. Yeah,
sports
100%.
games, something that I can chill and I'm gonna nap for half the day. That's where I'm at. You'll
That's
find
where
me
you
on
get
my
your
couch.
sleep. That's when you get your sleep. Yeah. Yeah.
Kyle, question. You took the Malaysia trip, and I need to hear about pickleball in Asia because I have
Ooh.
not made that trip yet. So obviously you found your 200 lost fans that wanted you to sign autographs, but how was the experience? Because we're hearing so much about the hype and just the level increase and the craziness around the fans in Asia. You played tournaments and did a tour with Friday, I believe.
Yes, yeah, pickleball in Asia is awesome. That's the tagline. It was awesome, and we were just treated. It was me, and it wasn't just me signing autographs for the record. The whole Friday team. I mean, my fiance signed a couple autographs. They
No way.
Good for her.
um, but we were just treated so nice, like so well, and we got to go to a bunch of different facilities, and the facilities are great. Like they're actually it's kind of crazy in Malaysia. Oh, there's a lot of like abandoned warehouses, from what I understand, that have gotten turned into facilities, and so there's not like poles in the middle, like in all the places in the States. There's like you got to work around the load bearing
Right.
poles to keep the. But in these ones, like humongous warehouses, just like all this open space, and they've built a lot of facilities there and just some just passionate people for pickleball, and we played open plays at 6 or 7 different places. A lot of people came out also kind of on short notice, which is another testament to just like how much they wanted to play and even just like hang out with the Friday guys. So overall, it was a blast. I haven't been out of the country in a while, and just seeing the look on people's faces, and just like if you ever go out to a tournament and people come up to you and compliment your content, that's really neat. But then when you go to like the other side of the world and they're like, that video helped me so much. And I'm like, man, I made that video
Yes.
3 years ago. That's amazing. I
That's
didn't even know
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
And so that's really cool. So I definitely plan to go back and experience that again because
Some
it was
PPA
incredible.
Asia, maybe?
Yeah, I played the one in KL, and I'll definitely look
Nice.
to go back and play more. When I go to those trips now, I'm just trying to couple it with going with the Friday guys. One, it's like really fun going with them, and my fiance, not only traveling for pickleball like every weekend, so we're trying to make sure there's a balance there. But yeah, but if we do one, we could play an Asia one. I think we could do that. It's a
There
non-signed
you
player can
go.
play. I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
We'll
There
figure
you
it out. We'll
go.
figure it out.
Yeah.
That's very cool that you're doing those challengers. I hear great things about the challenger events, not only for pros, but also for amateurs. It's just more tournament options for players. So for our listeners here, if you haven't checked out the PPA page recently, the schedule has a lot more tournaments than just the big ticket events, right? The ones that start back in September. So there's quite a bit this summer, actually. There's one in Maine.
I played 2 of them so far, and then starting in August, there's 2 or 3 I'm going to play.
Okay, nice. So a little break now?
Yeah, a little break right now. I've just been, it's kind of nice. You don't get many long window gaps to work on your game.
You're
And
telling me, Kyle.
yeah, I was like, I don't know. In basketball, we have these big, long off seasons, and like that's where you really take the biggest leaps in your games. Like you have this dedicated time to play more non-pressure reps where you can experiment and like fail more. Where it's kind of hard, like in between, if you're playing every single weekend, to go like fail in practice on Tuesday when you have to like be back at your best on Thursday. So it's
Yeah.
just you're definitely getting better in different ways, but it's just like a different type of improvement. So it's hard.
Kyle, I want to ask you about, the Friday guys a little bit. You mentioned, obviously, they introduced you to your fiance, so clearly you have a lifelong, bond with them. But why Friday? What attracted you so much about that crew?
Yeah, I mean, they blackmailed me, kind of. They got me my wife, and so it's kind of just like, hey, dude, are you joining or no? So next
Oh,
question.
we gotta clip that page. Oh my gosh, that is the best answer you could possibly give.
Well, it is.
Real talk here on 99% Pickleball.
If I can tell the story, it's fun. It's like a really. Have you heard the story, Mari, or no? About how this went
I don't
down?
think so.
It's fun, and I love telling it because basically I was with Selkirk and I had this great partnership with Selkirk, and I have nothing but good things to say about Selkirk, truly. And then I did some content with the Friday guys at the Kansas City tournaments a couple years ago. Not the one where
24.
not the one that went crazy, but the next year one.
Yeah,
Like the
24.
yeah, and so we showed up
I
and
was
did
there.
content. Yeah, I don't know if we knew each other at the time or not,
I hadn't made it
but
yet for Kyle to want to record content with me. Now we're
yeah,
there.
now you're there and multiple times. So we show up and when Jake texts me or DMs me on Instagram, he's like, hey, come do content with us while you're here. Perfect. We show up at a chicken and pickle, film like 7 videos, 6 of them multi-million dollar short form hit. Like they just go crazy. All of them went viral. And one of them is still like the most viral short form on their YouTube channel. And it was a video that we came up with on the spot. It's always how it goes, no planning. So we did content there. Then we just became friends. We did they came over to Phoenix. Let's do some content. We did that. And then, fast forward, Jake is like, hey, there's a lifetime, 10 duper tournament or 10.2 or something. But either our dupers matched up and he goes, you should come play it. And I was like, I don't know, that weekend. He keeps messaging me, and Jake's a comedian. Like he's like legitimately, he toured and did stand up. He's very funny. He's probably the most witty, quick. If I can ever beat him to a joke, we call it out because it's awesome because he's so fast. And he's like, hey, you got to come out and play. I'm like, I don't know if I can. He starts sending me these voice messages that are just hilarious. Like one of them said, hey, I'm at Lifetime Fitness right now. And just so you know, I'm not working out. I'm just spotting people. So I'll know what it's like to just support you at the Lifetime tournament. See you there. And, just little clips like that. And I was like, I don't know. And then a few days later, he sends me one. He's like, hey, me and Rachel, his wife, we're just talking. We know a bunch of single girls. Come out here, play the tournament. We'll set you up. And at that
There you
point,
go.
I was in. And so I'm like, I'm coming. So I fly out to Kansas
Got
City.
you.
Yeah, that's what it was a build, but that was the straw, So I get to Kansas City and we, hanging out, and we filmed some content on Friday. Then Saturday's the Lifetime tournament. So we go and play the Lifetime tournament. And I'm still kind of in the back of my mind, like he hasn't brought up the girl thing yet. So I'm like, I kind of came here for that. So like, can you get on with it, And end of the day, we finished the tournament. We're upstairs in Lifetime, just stretching after the tournament's over. And he pulls, oh, the girl, let me show you this girl. Her name's Ashley. And so pulls out an Instagram, shows me this girl named Ashley. I'm like, wow, she's beautiful. Like, can I meet her? And we find out she's not in town that weekend. It's like, okay, shoot. Okay. So gotta figure this out. So that was kind of the end of it for like 24 hours. Next day, we're at Jake's house. I'm flying out Sunday, and he doesn't bring this up again, but I'm like, hey, like, what should we do about Ashley? I'm really like, I want to message Ashley. And so we basically come up with this plan. We're sitting in Jake's living room, and him and his wife are outside. We're going to go outside and hit a volleyball around because his wife played college volleyball. They're just going to go pepper. I'm like, I'll join you. So we're out there. We're just peppering a volleyball, working on my sets. And I'm like, hey, Ashley is a college volleyball player. Jake's wife, Rachel, and her played together in college. What if, Rachel, go inside and pretend to film me and Jake hitting the volleyball just to show Ashley I have skills? She'll probably like that. Rachel goes inside. We got footage of this. Rachel goes inside, films us hitting a volleyball, and then sends it to Ashley. And it's like, hey, there's this guy, he's a great guy. You might like him, blah, blah. And Ashley's like, okay, I'm single. Then we had to start waiting. And because we didn't know like what was the next play. And Jake tells me, hey, I think you should wait for an Instagram story and reply to an Instagram story. Don't go the cold DM method. So I was like, all right, I'll trust you here. So a couple of days go by. She doesn't post an Instagram story. I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, like, what should I do, Jake? He goes, don't panic. Stay calm. This is going to work. So next day, she posts an Instagram story. We come up with a message, send it to Ashley. I'm in. We start like nonstop messaging for 2 weeks or so. And I end up flying back out to Kansas City 2 weeks later to film more content with the guys. But I actually just showed up to take her on a date. And so she was in town. We go on a date. And gosh, we basically just been hanging out nonstop ever since. And so in that time period, I was spending more time with Jake and the guys. And we were just like, well, what would it be like if I joined Friday? Man, the content you guys do, like they do the best comedic content. It's not even close. It's really hard
Hands
to do that type
down.
of content. And it's just hard to do it consistently and to have like just as many like viral hits as they've had. And it's just genuinely funny. I've tried. It's not easy. A lot of people have tried. And we just thought, man, what can we build together? And we're also great friends. It seems like a really long-term opportunity to do this. And that we signed that deal. And then I was actually moved to Phoenix. And so it's been like a little stepping stone thing where they're now in Phoenix, and we've been doing content even this week. It's so much easier, and it's been awesome. So I think Friday is going to continue to put out really great stuff and more stuff because we have such close access to each other. We're starting a podcast sometime soon. Jake's been doing podcasting forever, so a lot of cool things coming there. But that's how that partnership came about. It was very organic over a couple of years, and it's kind of how I think the best partnerships or any like relationship is. The best ones really oftentimes start as friendships, if you will.
There you go. All right, paddle companies, listen up. This is it. Start getting your matchmakers lined up on the roster. That's how you get the best. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, that's a way to do it. Props to them for finding you a wife. Also, before we get to our wrap up of the episode here, I do need to ask about when you proposed. I saw this and I never got a chance to ask you, so we're going to do it live. I saw that you tagged, it wasn't Ashley's account. There was another account on Instagram that, how long have you been holding on to that name? And can you please enlighten Nikki with the account? name.
This is great. I don't think I've ever even said this publicly
Perfect.
or on any. I don't think I've said this out loud. So more than like 5 people in the world. So
Oh,
this is
and you're about to.
I knew
Oh, yeah.
this would be a good one.
yeah. So when I had the idea for that pickleball guy, I was like, I thought about the pickleball guy, that pickleball guy. I follow this guy, still do for a long time, called like knees over toes guy, who's like workout account. And I was like, okay, like I'll look around. So I go on the Instagram, I'm looking at YouTube, I'm looking at the domain name, and I want to be able to get the same one for all of them just for clarity. And so the pickleball guy, I think I couldn't get maybe the YouTube or the thing. And then I was like, okay, that pickleball guy still sounds good. So I went that pickleball guy. Then I'm sitting in DreamHost, which is the domain platform I buy from for just different domains. And I'm like, wonder what other ones I could do. So I'm like, that pickleball dad, bought that one. That pickleball school, bought that one. That pickleball mom, that pickleball podcast. I got 25 of them. And then all of a sudden I was like, how about that pickleball girl? And then I'm like, it's available for like $7.99 or something. And I also got the Instagram account as well. And it's just like held it in my phone. And so I was like, all right, perfect. Okay, let me think about this. It doesn't have to go like this. I'm not going to force my future wife into pickleball, but let's just say she kind of likes pickleball. Maybe when I ask her to marry me, I'll also kind of give her that pickleball girl as a gift because, of course, she's going to love that, right? And so I say,
More than a ring. More than a ring, for sure.
I consider not even doing
I
the
got
ring.
you this
But,
account.
let me show you what I have. I pulled out of my back pocket. It's the account. I'm actually not proposing right now. I just want to give this to you. And yeah, so then I think the caption of the post was, of the engagement post, was like a video or pictures or whatever. It was like, I found that pickleball girl. And we have the account now. We haven't done a ton with it yet, but we're still kind of messing around with ideas for it. But the account exists. And now we have both. So that's how it went down.
Cool. That's a good story. I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, so I was like, this is great timing. Love that.
Yeah. I think it was like 5 years.
You heard it here first. My God, that story is epic. Epic.
Yeah, it's awesome. Trying to give you guys your opening hook. I've never shared this before anywhere publicly of all time. Cut to the first episode.
That pickleball guy's secret, big
That's
secret.
right.
Ultimate secret.
With a little vault.
Deep, dark secrets with that pickleball guy.
Great thumbnail. That's how you, yeah.
There we go. There we go. All right, Kyle. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. We've learned so much about you, but something we do here, if you haven't already heard our other episodes, this is 99% Pickleball, where we're talking about 99% of the pickleball population. But we also like to make sure that this podcast is about majority pickleball, 99%, and 1% anything else. Everything else, anything else really is on the table. And Mari is the queen of non-pickleball related questions. And so she's about to hit you with a non-pickleball related question, something totally random. Mari, let's go.
All right. Yeah, I've been proclaimed that by Nikki, so I will take what I can get around here. Kyle, you're a big sports guy, and if you were given the chance to own a sports team, a franchise, in any sport in any city, what sport would it be? What city would it be, and why?
I might have to take the third door here. Did you say I couldn't say pickleball? Because I was kind of leading Phoenix
No
Flames.
pickleball.
Okay.
You can't say pickleball.
No pickleball.
Doesn't exist in that world.
Pickleball doesn't exist. It's gone.
Any sport, any team, I think the first thing that came to mind was the Golden State Warriors, just because I've loved Steph Curry and was just like, I'm going from loving a player to wanting to, you said own the team, right?
You get to own the team.
Yeah, I think it would just be fun to, only while Steph's there, and then we'll sell the team, But I've always been just amazed with like his level of play, and also just some of like the top NBA guys. And I mean, basically any great athlete, I just love to kind of pay attention to. But I would say the Golden State Warriors, just so I could sit courtside and watch Steph, maybe ask him some questions about shooting.
So you would take the Phoenix Flames, but not the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, I was thinking Phoenix Flames because I was like, well, Phoenix Flames seems like way less work than the Golden State Warriors or the Phoenix Suns.
Definitely.
But way less. Yeah, well, I think the Warriors are probably worth a little more, at least right now.
Tiny.
Yeah,
a couple bucks more. Yeah.
Am I getting the team for free though? Then I can just sell it on the back end because that would be okay. Well, then I'm taking an NFL team probably because I'm probably selling that for even. I'm probably selling that for more.
He's thinking about the business side. Gosh, Kyle,
always a business
passion project. Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
Nikki, what would yours be?
Well, man, I mean, obviously my favorite team, this is a hard moment to say this, but my favorite team in all of sports is San Antonio Spurs. I'm from San Antonio. I'm born and raised Spurs fan. This is a tough year for us, but
Good year, but tough year. I
a
mean,
good year, but tough year. But I mean, maybe that's why I should take over the team, because maybe I'm the one who needs to make some of the changes and the energy changes and to get
I
them that
think
ring next
you're
year.
the
Yeah,
solution.
I think I'm the solution. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Mari, who's yours?
I'm going to cheat the system a little bit here, but I am taking the Brazil national soccer team.
Oh my gosh.
Good answer?
Who
Bad answer?
owns the Brazilian national soccer team? Is
Me
there an
now.
owner of the
What do you mean? This is
That's awesome.
That's you. That's it.
mine. I
Yeah.
own the Brazilian national soccer team. Okay.
Man, it's official. It's official. Signed, sealed, delivered, all of that. All right. Good.
Absolutely.
Timely. Very timely as well. Good.
Very timely. I'm a big soccer fan. Been enjoying the World Cup games. So yeah. Kyle, it's been awesome having you. You did
Yes.
you're kind of media trained. You're pretty good at this.
You're pretty good at
Well,
it. You've done this before, once or twice.
let's just say my expectations are aligned with my daily work.
There you
I
go.
don't feel
That's how to
good.
do
I
it.
don't feel bad. I don't feel good or bad. I just feel like I did okay based on the amount of podcasts I've done, which actually isn't even that many. So I feel just like it was average.
Surprising.
This is your average.
You did great. I wasn't speaking. The podcast isn't average. Oh shoot, we got to get off this pod. I'm falling in a hole.
He's falling apart.
Oh man, we have a great editor.
Get Paige in here.
Yeah, we have a great editor for exactly that.
Yes. No, you did great. This was awesome, Kyle. Best of luck with everything coming up. Hopefully we get that 99% of people recognizing you for your content down to like 97%. So
Amen.
let's step up to your playing game.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
I gotta go hit some dinks. I'll see
Come
y'all.
on, Zach. Make him better.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, Kyle.
All right, thanks y'all.
Man, that guy knows what's up, Mari. Whew,
What a guy.
Pickleball guy. That pickleball guy knows what's up.
Chose the right name, and
Yeah.
he found that pickleball girl.
He found her. I'm excited to know what he's going to do with that. I want to know what's coming from that handle or whatever that is. There's a lot that he could do with that. Women's
I remember
pickleball.
seeing that post, and I read it. I was like, "Whoa, is that? I haven't seen that one before." So that's cool that he shared that.
I got to
story.
give you props. You got to get props for that's a deep cut for you to know that, for you to ask that even. So
attention to detail, just
yes,
yeah, a personality trait of mine.
I like it. Speaking of details, what's your main takeaway? What did you take away from that conversation?
I really enjoy the way that Kyle looks at things. So it's not surprising to me that someone that had limited racket sport background got to his level due to the way he looks at things. I think his strategic mentality and his strength in his mental game, I think, are what elevate him. And I've watched him compete. It's pretty cool to see how he rises in important moments and how supportive he is of his partners. So it matches up with what he's doing. So props to him for. It seems like he takes his time with things. He actually stops and thinks about things, and I just like his approach. So I'm a fan of Kyle. If you couldn't tell, we're friends. I've gotten to know him a little bit off the court, just recorded some content together. If you haven't checked out our videos, make sure to check him out. Some really good content out there. And yeah, I'm excited to see his journey continue. It's hard to not cheer him on, right?
Absolutely. It's really, I mean, it's impossible to not cheer him on because he's such a good guy. He's so chill. He's so fun. I guess my biggest takeaway would be, I would venture to say that he's profound. The things that he was talking about, I was blown away by some of that. He was talking about the chess mastery, which I'm very familiar with. I actually teach that concept in, I teach that exact concept in facilitation and storytelling. And that, a lot of people like to write scripts before they are going to present something. And I always tell people, no scripts. You're not trying to remember word for word. Know the story. And that's what chess masters do. They understand the layout of what he was talking about. They understand the layout of the board, and it tells a story, and they understand that. Whereas, what's really funny is that this was research study done. They gave 2 chess boards to chess masters, and then they gave 2 chess boards to people who know nothing about chess. And they had them try to remember what the placement was of all the pieces. And for the randomized pieces, for that board, the chess masters and the people who knew nothing about chess remembered about the same number of pieces. but for the very like actual gameplay set up on the board, the chess masters remembered the entire thing because they understand the story of it really. And then the random, the people are even the one that was set up perfectly for gameplay, the people who know nothing about chess, it didn't mean anything to them. They barely remembered it. So it's all about understanding the story, the setup, the context, all of that. Hearing him talk about that, hearing him talk about the man on the boat, like
right.
hearing him, so there were so many moments in there.
His tangents actually came back, which is impressive.
I was blown away by this. And I thought, this is like, he really understands pickleball. He understands it in such a different way. It's exactly what makes, the sport so unique, but it makes him so unique, right? Why is he building this empire? Why is he the one who's doing that? Well, it's because he's got these takes and he's got these insights. So I was very impressed by that. I love hearing that. I want to hear more. I want to hear more from him. Yeah. He can teach like leadership skills by that pickleball guy or something like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Fun guy to talk to. Very insightful. Pretty cool experiences that he's getting to live. And I think we're going to see a lot more of him. So maybe he'll be back. Well, maybe he's
probably.
We'll see.
Probably. Because we have a lot to talk about. We could have gone on for hours. Absolutely. Oh man, this was a good one. I think it's so cool that you guys are friends. You guys riff together very well. So again, like Mari said, if you haven't already seen it, go watch the content that these two have together. It is hilarious. It is amazing. You guys are just so good together. So yeah, love that stuff.
Thank you, Nikki. Appreciate that.
Man. And speaking of watching content, make sure that you watch this on YouTube, Apple, Spotify.
Wow, what a great transition.
You like that segue there? Oh yeah, but you can watch.
Perfect.
If you're driving, don't watch us. Listen. You can listen to the podcast, whatever you prefer.
Good call out. Yes.
Yeah. Whatever you want. You can listen and then go back and watch because maybe we talk about something that you want to see. So you can do both of that. So, but don't only just do that. Don't just listen and watch. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment. We want to listen. We want to hear from all of you. 99% Pickleball. This is for all of you. So let's get the conversation started.
Thanks for being here and we'll see you next week.
Let's go.